Hi, hello, and welcome to your class today with me. I'm Helga, and I'm really so happy to connect with you. So, today's class is really for those of you that are fairly new to yoga. I want this to be a class where, if you were to walk into a yoga class for the very first time, this would be a class for you where we just take our time. I explain a little bit the poses as we're in them, and we just move and enjoy and have fun, but in a very sort of going back to the basics or beginner's way. So, this class works if you're a total beginner in Vinyasa yoga. If you have done yoga but you just want to refresh a bit your basics, or if you just want to go slow and enjoy a bit of being in the present moment. So when you are ready, grab your yoga mat at home, find a beautiful space where you want to put it, and then come and find a comfortable seated position with me. So the way I am, for example, is just here in a seated position here, and I'm also sitting on a yoga brick. So if you have that at home, feel free to do that. If you don't have one, you can also just sit like this, but you could also grab a pillow, a folded blanket, a big book, anything, just to be a bit more elevated off the floor. And then I'd like to just tell you to soften your face, first of all, and also your body. So oftentimes the shoulders here, the neck and the jaw were a little bit tense. So just try to wash that all away and sit upright. So you're alert and present and active, but also very just relaxed and soft with yourself, you know? And then the only thing I'm gonna ask you to do is just to notice your breath. So you don't really have to do anything or change anything about your breath at all. Just notice it. It's there, it's present. And in yoga, the breath is called prana or pranayama, and this is really your life force, your energy pumping through. So in Vinyasa yoga, we really do use the breath a lot. We sort of synchronize breath and movement to really get that juice flowing. So just notice your breath and enjoy it. How the oxygen enters and leaves the body as you inhale and exhale. So just finding a little bit of presence and calmness at the beginning of your class. Maybe the palms of your hands are resting here on the thighs or on the knees. So feeling yourself growing roots from here, the part of your body that is touching the mat or the brick. But also feel yourself elongating and connecting with the top here, the ceiling, the sky. Opening your heart space. So take as much time as you want here. If you even want to pause this video and just enjoy this pose for as many minutes as you want, feel free. But if not, I'm gonna invite you to gently continue. So coming into a tabletop position. So taking that brick, if you had one, and just place it to the side and find a tabletop position. So the hands are stacked just right under your shoulders. And the knees are also just right under the hips here, so more or less. And then the hands are really anchored flat onto the yoga mat. You really feel the palms of your hands. And there's a little bit of space between your fingers, right? So really active hands here. This is really the base of your yoga practice as well in other poses. And then notice your spine, your back here, your shoulders, and the hips. And to warm up that part of the body, the spine and the whole back and the shoulders and the hips, we're going to take a few cat-cows. This is a really nice yoga movement that we often do at the beginning of class. So it goes like this. Looking up, arching the back, inhaling here. So only my back is moving, only my spine. Then I exhale, I look down, I round the back, and I really let the head go. Exhaling. So just in your own time, doing this movement, looking up and inhaling, relaxing your belly as you do this, and then exhale, pushing the floor away, looking between your thighs. And this is an invitation to really feel all of yourself, so even down to the ribs, the rib cage of the side of the body here as you move and breathe. And if you're feeling a little bit of release here, like you want to breathe a bit louder or do something like I just did now with the lips, feel free to do that. In all yoga classes, normally you're very encouraged to really breathe, and there's lots of different breaths that you can do, but also just listen intuitively to yourself. So if you want to stick your tongue out on the exhale, or if you want to just flap the lips like I did now, feel free. And really letting your face be soft as you do this. Really, really make an intention to just release and relax all the muscles in the face. You don't need anything here apart from your back moving. And let's make this our last round. So one more inhale up. And then a final exhale down, rounding the back. From here, let's do a thread the needle. So this one is really nice after you've been doing warm-ups here in a tabletop position. So for thread the needle, you simply take your right hand and thread it under the left armpit. So you're now coming here under, and automatically the right side of your face is leaning now towards the floor. So just bring it towards the floor. You can extend the left arm if you want, and place the side of face here on the mat, just on the earth. So this should feel quite nice and juicy, both for your right side of body and maybe back, but literally for the shoulders. This is a good shoulder stretch. Just letting your right shoulder melt into the earth. And then very slowly bring yourself back up to your tabletop. No sudden movements, be gentle with yourself. And then threading on the other side. So this time the left arm comes under right armpit, the right hand is extended, and then left side of face simply falls onto the mat here. And in yoga, you always listen to your body as well. Even if the teacher says something, you also do how you think is best for you. Always listen to your body, never hurt yourself or push too far into a movement that doesn't feel right for you. So now coming back up to your tabletop. Just finding your place again. So remind yourself of what we said just now at the beginning, with the hands really flat on the mat, with space between the fingers. So really anchoring the hands here, finding your balance, your strength, your point of contact. And then we're going to gradually come into a down dog. So if you haven't done down dog before, or if you have done one, but you just want to go back through the basics, hands now stay the same. So nice anchored hands, active hands, space between the fingers. And then the knees come a little bit closer together. And the first thing I do is that I tuck the toes, right? So tucking the toes, and you can even do small little movements like this just to see how that feels. So what I'm doing is just tilting, pushing back and forth with my hips, right? With the toes tucked. And then what you could do if you want is just take the knees slightly off the mat now. See how that feels? Slightly off and then back down. Let's do that a few times. Taking knees off, toes tucked, strong hands and arms, and then knees back. And then eventually you work your way up to taking the knees off and then really lifting all of the hips, both legs. And once you're there, you separate the feet
the feet, sorry. And you can definitely have the knees bent here. I would definitely recommend bending the knees. And we're not sort of here leaning forward. We really have the chest quite close to the thighs. Hence, the bending the knees can be helpful. So I'm looking between my legs, between my toes or knees. And then you can try to see how it feels to straighten slightly the legs, or maybe one and then the other. This is called walking the dog. Sometimes the yoga teacher might say, walk your dog now and bend one knee then the other. So this is what you do. And from here, look between your hands and just slowly and carefully, no sudden movements, walk yourself, doesn't matter how it looks, walk yourself to the front of the mat. So just walking here towards the front. And then coming up to a standing position, finding mountain pose. I really love this pose. So mountain pose, standing with the palms facing the front. Nice long line, and you can have the feet, the legs really glued together. Sometimes that's nice for like a connection, you know. So if you do that, you sort of squeeze the thighs and the legs a little bit together, you know, energetically. Or you could have space between your legs, a bit more free, you know, space between the legs, and just stand like this, looking at the horizon with both palms facing the front. And this is mountain pose, so really strong, energetic presence of a mountain with the roots down into the earth, standing quite majestic and strong here. Mountain pose. And then next we're going to do a sun salutation. So this is definitely something you often do in a Vinyasa yoga class, especially at the beginning, but also throughout. So this is just your flow, your sun salutation sequence. So let's do it together. It goes like this. Don't worry about your breath for now. Let's just do the movements. So in your standing position, taking arms up to sky and just looking right ahead. And then joining hands together, folding down towards the floor. You can definitely have your knees bent. Then hands on the shins, half lift with the back flat. Placing hands now on the mat, bring your legs to the back and find a plank pose. Holding your plank here and reminding you of the hands. So flat hands here as well with space between them. And feel yourself all the way down to the heels. And you can squeeze your glutes a little bit and your core. Now, knees come down on the mat first, untucking the toes. And then we're going to bring ourselves all the way down. So elbows slightly in, right? So I'm not like this, elbows slightly in towards me. And then slowly bring yourself all the way down here onto the yoga mat. And we're going to have the forearms on the mat. Just looking right ahead, so feel your belly into the earth, feel the pubic bones here. So this is Sphinx pose, so I'm quite relaxed in my legs, glutes, belly. So this is a gentle back bend. So forearms and elbows definitely in the mat, on the floor. Sphinx pose. And you'll see if you're looking down at the mat or if you take your gaze slightly up at the horizon, the one where you look at the horizon, you might feel your back a little bit more. So that's your choice. And then from here, I place my hands closer to my chest and push myself back into down dog. And that completes one round of sun salutation. Let's do that once again. So in down dog here. So just take your time in down dog, feel into this. Knees bent perhaps. And then I walk myself to the front of the mat, looking between my hands. Just small steps. Rising up into mountain pose. You can even close your eyes here if that feels good. Just have a soft gaze. Very relaxed face. Just breathing normally. And now taking your arms up to sky. Let's do this together. Joining hands, fold down. Half lift, place your hands on the shins with a flat back. And find your plank position. Strong pose here, supporting your own body. Nice, active, flat hands. You can tilt here if you want, slightly back and forth, just a small rock on your toes if that feels nice. Squeezing the glutes and your core. And then placing the knees down first. Untucking the toes, elbow slightly in, and my upper body is now leaning down towards the earth slowly. Here you can either find your Sphinx pose again, so elbows anchored onto the mat, pushing in. Or you could find a baby cobra. So that would mean instead of being like this with the elbows in, I'm now taking my hands a little bit further here to the front and taking the elbows just slightly off the floor. So that increases the back bend. And breathing into this. And lowering my hands at chest level, pushing into down dog. Beautiful. So walking your dog here, bending one knee then the other, or maybe taking the toes off on one leg and then the other. And then staying here in your down dog, we're gonna do one common, very nice standing pose, which is warrior one. So look slightly between your hands, walk your feet closer together, and then take your right foot off the floor. So now you're only standing on your left foot, and bring right foot between your hands and slowly rise up. So I'm gonna go through this with you, warrior one. So my right foot is now here facing the front, just parallel to the line of my yoga mat. And then my back foot in warrior one, you see my toes are now going out and the heel is slightly towards me. So I'm not like this with both feet facing the front. My back heel has turned in towards me. And then I bend the front knee. So this is the base for the legs in warrior one. And then I take my arms up to sky. So actually the heel is not too much in, it's kind of parallel to the front line of the yoga mat, more or less. So you just feel into this yourself, no need to be worrying too much about everything with the feet. You just feel into how this feels to your body first of all. And then when you have found that, just keep that pose for a moment, breathing in and out nicely. Warrior one. And we're definitely bending the front knee. So this is quite a strong pose for the legs, but it's a beautiful one and a very common one in Vinyasa yoga.
And then let's do warrior two. So my feet stay more or less the same, but the arms here come to the side like this, so front and back. However, my back heel has tilted now more in towards me, and now I'm really parallel to the line of the yoga mat here at the front or at the back. And arms like this, and I can look out to the left side of the room or in front of me right at the horizon here of the middle finger. So warrior pose, you should feel quite strong here, channeling your inner warrior. Nice, strong standing legs. Beautiful. And slowly straighten your front foot and just carefully walk your back leg closer to you and find your mountain pose at the front of the mat again. Beautiful. Breathing here and opening yourself. Feeling into the stretch that you just did here with your right leg. Perhaps your hip, the inside of the right leg here feels a bit more opened. And we'll do the same sequence on the other side. So we're going to find a warrior one on the other side, this time with the left leg at the front. So anchoring through the left foot at the front, and place your right foot, big step towards the back, finding warrior one. And once you've stabilized yourself with the feet and the legs, arms up to sky. And the back here, we're not arching too much up. Back is a little bit straight, but we can still open the chest. And we're not gluing the arms, onto the ears. There's a little bit of space between your shoulders and your ears. And then transitioning into warrior two. So look towards the right side of the room, open my arms like an eagle, like a bird. And my right heel has now turned a little bit more in towards me. So my foot is now completely parallel to the line of the back of my yoga mat. The front foot is still straight. Warrior two. So connect to your own strength here, your warrior spirit, all the strength you have within you, your willpower, your physical strength, and your self-love. And then on your next breath, gently and slowly find your way to the front of the mat, standing pose, Tadasana, mountain pose. Tadasana just means mountain pose in Sanskrit for that yoga pose. Now walk yourself a little bit further down in the middle of the yoga mat. We'll do one or two balancing poses, starting with tree pose. I really love that one, and usually people that start yoga do enjoy that one. So tree pose, we'll start with the right leg anchored into the floor. So really start by pushing your right sole, middle of foot and toes really into the mat, right? So now I have a strong anchored leg into the mat and my leg is straight. Then I come and lift the left leg off the mat, right? So I'm only standing on the right leg. And then I come and place sole of foot here on the inside of calf, tree pose, or inside of thigh. So just take your time with this. No need to be super serious or perfect. And one is not better than the other, by the way. That's not something to think about or try to achieve. It's just about how it feels in your body. Some days I do this, and some days I place it here. You could even place it here just on your ankle. So whatever is good for you. So I'm gonna have it here today inside of the calf. And then hands in tree pose can come at chest level, heart space in prayer, or branches up to sky in whatever way you want. Beautiful tree pose, finding your balance. And let's do the same on the other side, just in your own time. Left foot anchored into the earth. Lifting right foot off. And finding sole to leg. Beautiful. And then place your foot down. Find your standing pose again. Feel both of your legs anchored into the earth. Now for our other balancing pose, let's do warrior 3, just kicking your left leg towards the back. Take your time with this, no need to be perfect again, but a few tips to help. So nice, strong, standing right leg, yes? And you're really squeezing your thigh and your left glute, and we're trying to have that left foot really sort of far away from the ground, right? And leaning the torso back, all the way keeping our balance. And the arms can be behind you like this, or towards the front, or at the chest level, hands in prayer. And you could have a very small sort of micro bend in the standing leg if you want. Warrior 3. So just take your time with this pose. You can even get out of it and then back in. Flying warrior, this is also called, which I really like. Because you are kind of flying like a bird, hovering over the ocean, looking for a fish. And then, in your own time, no rush, do the same pose just on the other leg. So anchoring left foot strongly into the earth and kicking your right foot towards the back. Let's go, warrior 3, flying warrior. And to help you with your balance, you can definitely fix a point of focus on your mat and just stay there. Breathing here nicely. And then placing your foot back gently. Beautiful. So now to close the class, I'd like to invite you at home just to find your seated position again, or even to lay down and just close your eyes and take 5 to 10 minutes just for you with your eyes closed, and breathe and just place your hands maybe on your body. So take all the time you want for that, and then open your eyes and enjoy your day or your evening with a newfound space within. I hope this was helpful and enjoyable, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.